The first step of the college essay writing process is choosing your topic. What are you going to write about? Are you going to write about that time your team won the state math competition? What about those weekends that you spent volunteering at the food bank? We're constantly bombarded with opinions from friends and family over what they think our essay topic should be. It's really hard to sort through all of the options. I've broken this section on choosing an essay topic into 3 separate videos. In this first video, we're going to talk about ways to generate ideas, places from which you might be able to draw inspiration. In the next video, we'll talk about 5 common bad essay topics, ones that you want to avoid and don't want to end up on the reject pile. And lastly, we'll look at 2 examples of real students, their ideation process, and the essays they ultimately chose to write. Let's talk about brainstorming. I want to say this up front. I think nearly every essay that you come up with should have some sort of story or narrative associated with it. Of the essays I've read, 98% follow some sort of story. The other 2%, those are kind of the weird ones. You've probably seen that college essay where it's like the essay is about writing the essay, or every once in a while you'll see an essay where the kid is trying to figure out what to write and it's a metaphor for their whole life or some weird meta stuff like that. I think for most students, unless you're some sort of creative writing student who wants to get on the merit of your creative writing, nearly every other essay I'm seeing, it has to be some sort of narrative or some sort of story. I think there are 4 general areas of life that you might draw inspiration from for your essay topics. In the rest of this video, I'm going to break down those 4 areas, as well as some examples of essay topics drawn from each of those areas. You've spent the majority of your life at school and at home, so naturally this is a good source of inspiration for some very personal essay topics. When writing about these ordinary aspects of your life, make sure that you focus on specific events or relationships. That time that you took AP Art History isn't a good essay topic. But that time you took AP Art History and met that teacher that helped you develop your skills as a creative artist, that might be a better essay topic. When telling these stories about ordinary life, focus on the moments and the relationships that stand out. Here are 5 essay topics brainstormed by students in the context of either school or home. The first essay is about caring for a younger sibling while the parents were out at work. After that, we have obsessing with putting together a perfect piece of code for a final project in a computer science class. Then we have becoming an expert ramen chef by watching YouTube videos while at home. Another one on an inspiring AP Bio teacher that invigorated a love for lab wet work. And then lastly, a friendship with an English teacher that motivated the student into entering a creative writing competition. The most common essays I see are ones related to extracurricular activities. These are the things you do outside of school, either for the fun or the competitiveness of them. Now, these don't really show up in your application other than as a line item, so it's a good chance to really pull those activities out and explain them in more detail. It might also be a good chance to highlight any leadership roles or stuff like that if you held any of that within your extracurriculars. For extracurricular activity essays, focus on specific events or relationships as part of that activity. This is a lot like the home and school essays. It's more powerful to focus on a specific competition than trying to pull together 4 years of experience in something all into one essay. Remember to also focus on the impact the activity had on you. It might be impressive that your volleyball team won the state championship, but that brought glory to your school and to other people. What effect did it have on you? Really focus in on your personal relationship to this topic. Here are 5 extracurricular essay topics brainstormed by students. The first one is joining the basketball team during freshman year and really making a close group of friends. Another one is starting a robotics club at their school. The third one is leading a hike as part of being a Boy Scout. The fourth one is preparations the night before a big debate tournament. And then finally, we have helping the librarians after school with reshelving books. You know that 3-week summer research program that you did? What about that weekend you spent helping pick up trash at the local park? Now, both of these fall into a category I call special events. These are events that you'll do during your time in high school that fall outside of the bounds of your typical academic commitments and your typical extracurricular commitments and are usually a one-time thing. These can make for some very, very interesting essay topics if you know how to write about them. When writing about a one-time event, you'll have a chance to tell a story. Make sure there's a point to that story. The fact that you went to something is just the absolute bare minimum for the essay. What did you gain from the experience? How did the experience change you? I've seen a lot of essays where the student just writes about attending the event, as if that's the big accomplishment. Essays like this are too much about the event, not enough about the student. Make sure that the event is a means to explain your character as an applicant and not just an advertisement for the event. Here are 5 essay topics that students came up with in the context of special events. The first one is attending a gaming tournament and talking about the different unique friends that they met there. We have attending a park cleanup and having the chance to direct a team of middle school students. We have participating in the town's fall festival and helping the family business as part of that. We have playing music at a retirement home over the holidays, and then helping clean out the AP Chemistry storeroom the week after school got out. The last area to look for essay topics is quite honestly my favorite. Sometimes in life, interesting stuff will just happen to you. These things are unexpected, unplanned, and the way that you respond to them can sometimes make for a compelling story. Now, it's very hard to describe what types of examples these are. You'll just kind of know them when you see them. Hopefully in the example section, I'll be able to give you a little more context. Here are 5 offbeat essay topics that students came up with relating to things that happened to them. First, we have trying to sell an old instrument on Craigslist and learning about economics in the process. And then we have cleaning out the attic, finding an old family heirloom and tracing its origin. We have the quest to do 100 push-ups for 100 consecutive days, helping a lost child find their parents in a grocery store, and how having a chipped front tooth affects the way that this student interacts with others. Based on these 4 topic areas, try to come up with between 5 and 8 potential essay topics on things that you would be comfortable writing about. In the next video, we'll talk about how to pare these down into just the topics that you can write a good essay about. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.